Good day, beautiful soul. Matt here. Welcome to day 13 of our 30 Days of Money journey. Today is all about patience, getting steadfast, not being tempted by those quick, rich schemes, and rather creating some consistency around our money habits so that we can take advantage of the transformational power of steady, long-term habits, practices, and investments. This is gold, y'all. Gold. So let's dive in. So as we know, money success is not about magic tricks or hot tips or secret sauces. However, if you do have some hot tips or you do have some yummy sauces, in order to share that and create value and generate revenue from this requires consistency and discipline, which, takes work, which is why it's so easy to often be tempted and lured by those get rich quick schemes. But that's just what they are, schemes. When we look to the wealthiest investors and we see what they're doing, it actually is quite simple, but requires just that long, steady, perhaps boring, but effective approach for their money. So this is what we're diving into today. We're going to double down on the patience it requires to really allow our money to begin working for us. And we're going to demystify the investment arena a bit so that we can learn some simple habits of successful investors. A couple of our golden nuggets today are to embrace consistency, to diversify, and to have patience. Those three things applied to our money creates incredible wealth. So let's dive in. First things first, we're going to scope this quote by Warren Buffett, who said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." And the reason Buffett speaks to this, we can look to our prosperity physics supportive science for the day, which shows that the analysis of investor behavior based on studies like the Dalbar and other common studies shows that year after year, the average investor earns below average returns. And this is primarily due to just poor market timing, thinking you can kind of outsmart the market. Whereas when you just leave your money in the market, on average, you'll make more money by the investors who are trying to move their money around. And this is just statistics. So in essence, emotional decisions trump rational ones. So this shows us that the physics of prosperity abides by this universal law of momentum. Money, like water, gains power and volume when it flows consistently. So the invitation for today is to think how to start automating small, monthly, perhaps weekly investments like we explored yesterday, so that we can begin saving our money and investing it into a diversified fund, which are accessible to pretty much everyone. It's a pretty much set it, forget it sort of thing. And we'll dive into that a bit further. But first, our MOOLA mantra for today. Slow growth, sure wealth. Slow growth, sure wealth. Patience is not just a virtue, but it's an incredible investment strategy. Actually, the most recommended investment strategy. When we look to recommendations from the pros, we're not guided to invest our money so much in particular markets in particular ways, but more so how we invest that money. And fortunately, the recommendation is sublime in its simplicity, because it's really just about putting the money into an investment account and forget about it. Don't touch it and allow that compound interest to start to grow. So our mantra, feel free to utter it throughout the day as a reminder of this: slow growth, sure wealth. And perhaps allow this to be a reminder to resist those impulsive actions that could undermine financial growth through those tempting get rich quick schemes. Okay, let's dive into a quick little mint meditation for today. In today's meditation, we're going to tune into the wisdom of patience when it comes to achieving our financial goals and allowing our investments to really begin to working for us and earning us income. Wherever you are, beginning to deepen into the breath, settling more into the body, into this moment. Perhaps taking a deep inhale through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Another deep inhale through the nose, maybe noticing any tension in the body. And on the exhale, softening a bit more. Now, bringing to mind your money, where you put it, where you invest it. Consider it like a tree that you're planting. Trees. Visualize the roots of these trees sinking deep into the earth. This grounds us into our financial future. And every dollar that we invest is like a seed. And just like a tree, it requires time to grow, to mature, and to begin to bear fruit. So imagine your financial investment forest, the trees standing there, and imagine them standing there through the seasons. They're unhurried, they're unfazed, they're never rushing to produce fruit, and yet every year it does so abundantly. Perhaps bringing attention to any urges you have to rush this process, any impatience you feel for the desire to get rich quick, or to attach to a financial goal too tightly, wanting it now. Just reminding ourselves, slow and steady, slow and steady. Bringing back to mind that financial forest, and think about it a few years later. It's sturdy, it's lush, it's abundant. Feeling into the patience and the discipline it took to get there. Perhaps feeling the heart, feeling it swell with gratitude for the wisdom of steady patience. One last deep grounding breath. And as you exhale, carry this steady, patient wisdom with you into the world of your money, of your investing, knowing that, like your financial forest, slow and steady growth wins the race. May you invest wisely with all the time in the world. Making our way to our journal for some rich reflections. What emotional triggers lead to impulsive decisions? What are the emotional triggers that prevent you from being patient? Questions for self-inquiry. Always welcome to pause to give yourself a moment to flush out these questions. So a couple ones that came up for me. Stress, impulsive spending can be a great coping mechanism. Excitement or euphoria. You get such a rush or a high, like buying something. It's true for me. Boredom, maybe I'm just like laying in bed late at night. My resources are low. I'm kind of bored. I'm like, what could bring some excitement into my life? Social influence, product of our environment. Especially with the marketing influence as well, right? All of the brilliance that goes into the marketing, the messaging that we hear, wiring us to believe things. Instant gratification. Yeah, these are some of them. So next question for self-inquiry. What would your life look like with steady growing wealth? Perhaps it would feel more safe and secure, knowing that you've got money continually being invested, knowing that you're taking advantage of the eighth wonder of the world that is compound interest, Perhaps you would feel more spacious in your life, empowered, satisfied. There's just like so many good ones that come up with visioning a life that has steady growing wealth, which is so achievable. And personally, this is my life over the last, 6 years or so. I've been slowly saving 10% of everything I make. And let me tell you, I wish I would have started sooner. All right, our last question of rich reflection is, what is one step you can take today towards long-term investing? So for me, that's revisiting my budget, looking for ways to identify when I've gotten emotionally triggered to make impulsive purchasing decisions or just impulsive money management decisions, and just get that bird's eye view, right? So that then we can create that life that does have a more steady growing wealth. So that's one step. Revisit the budget, identify where I'm just kind of emotionally, reactively spending, and get curious as to, what those emotional triggers are, and dive in. Okay, our prosperity pivot for today is really to look at how we get tempted into those quick rich schemes and just examine why. Are there any insecurities within that are magnetized by these get rich quick schemes? And let's just get courageous towards looking at ourselves in this way so that we can cultivate a more liberating financial mindset that harmonizes with the long-term well-being that we desire. All right, now let's bring it all home with today's money manifestation. Manifesting, it's like communing with the universe, only not just using words, we're using our thoughts and our feelings and our state of being. Taking a moment now for a grateful investment. This is just showing gratitude, feeling gratitude for the seeds that we have already sown financially, emotionally, that are creating that financial forest for our future self. So whatever it is that you've done, just making a note of that, perhaps writing it down, and really feeling the gratitude and the power that those steady investments or patient money matters have cultivated in your life. Feel free to repeat today's abundance affirmation after me. I am a long-term investor in my wealth, well-being, and wisdom. I trust in my consistency and patience. I am the architect of my financial future. Bravo, kudos. This was a nice, simple session on the steadfastness of just the small consistencies that really make for those bigger wins when it comes to our lifelong journey of financial well-being. So kudos, you've taken some key steps in building this steady, prosperous financial future. Keep up the momentum. I so look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We're really going to double click on this concept of steadfastness, of patience. Tomorrow's intention is patience, and we're going to really experience the power that patience has when it comes to our investments. So I so look forward to seeing you tomorrow for that. And I'll leave us with a community conversation. What is a long-term investment that you're excited about and why? We would love to hear your 2 cents in the comments. And have a wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace, love, steadfast. 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 Steadfast.